the inner child in us, the subconscious vault of our childhood experiences, emotions, and memories, significantly influencing our behavior, relationships, and emotional responses as adults. Unresolved childhood traumas or unmet emotional needs often manifest in adulthood as anxiety, depression, complex trauma, or unhealthy coping mechanisms. Addressing and healing the inner child is pivotal for achieving emotional wellness, and breaking free from this trauma becomes very challenging as well. Recently, there has been a lot of research in the area of trauma and ways to understand and address it. And modalities like hypnotherapy, inner child integration, and RTM are a few tested methods to address this trauma. Today, we are here to discuss some of these approaches to improve our emotional well being and heal our past. With wishing you all an empowering day, this is Sindhu Panikar, delighted and privileged to welcome you all to this 6th edition of Orange City Literature Festival, organized by SDR Knowledge Foundation, powered by Rise on Education. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have with us a very powerful personality to voice on the topic scientific wellness, using hypnotherapy, inner child healing, and evidence-based practices to foster emotional well-being. We have with us Madam Riri Trivedi, the co-founder of Wellness Space and Society for Energy and Emotions. She's a parenting coach, regression therapist, and a trainer. She has trained students across the world through her online and offline workshops in parenting and regression therapy. She is the co-founder of Wellness Space, and her team actively works on conducting therapies, trainings, and research in the area of childhood trauma and mental health. And through the years, she has also done extensive research and published papers in the areas of childhood trauma and mental health with her team of psychologists and psychotherapists at Wellness Space. Her passion lies in spreading awareness on platforms to build awareness about childhood trauma, positive parenting, and mental health. She has more than 1.4 million followers and is currently pursuing her PhD on the impact of adverse childhood experiences on mental health of adults. Ma'am, it's our honor. We welcome you today. To moderate this session, we have with us Ms. Parveen Tuli, an internationally certified transformation and consciousness coach, therapist in alternative and holistic healing, joy of business, facilitator, founder of the Wellbeing Studio, Nagpur. We welcome you, ma'am. As the topic itself is so very captivating, which is like scientific wellness, I must appreciate the speaker for having accepted our time frame, which is into a span of 40 minutes, inclusive of the audience question hour. So without any further ado, with a huge round of applause, over to the dignitaries.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Before I start, I would like to immensely grateful for Riri Trivedi for coming to Nagpur for the first time. She is my teacher and guru and has been my mentor all throughout these years. So let's talk about a very important topic which is considered to be an epidemic nowadays, which is mental and emotional health. So, ma'am, I would like to first ask you, when a layman hears about hypnotherapy, inner child work, alternative work, complementary work, nobody has ever taken it so seriously, and people think this is just not a mainstream thing to do. That's why it's called as alternative. So how could you, as a team from so many years of experience, and claim it as scientific wellness? And what is it that you do differently at Wellness Space to create that scientific evidences and claim solutions which are successful?
Am I audible? Yeah. So basically, first we must understand that when we are, looking at mental health, and when we are talking of evidence-based approaches, we are looking at ways at the attitude of looking at mental health, right? A lot of times we have somebody who's done hypnotherapy, somebody who's done inner child, will say, okay, come and use my modality or my technique. What we do is we are trying to be very client-centric. client को क्या चाहिए, what is the problem that the person has come to you with, right? And people come to us with, say, anxiety, depression, relationship issues, anger issues. They are not actually the problems. The problems are much deeper, what we call as the core issues. What people come to you with a problem for your clinical practice, or even when you talk to your friends, what they are saying is the surface level. We have gone through 30 years of research, which is already published globally, which today points out that whether it is anxiety, depression, addictions, relationship issues, these are the outcomes of something much, much deeper, which comes from childhood experiences. Unfortunately, India, where we have the largest population of young people, there is hardly any research. That is why इसके बारे में awareness ही नहीं है. इवन मेंटल हेल्थ प्रैक्टिशनर्स में आज जब कोई आता है, कोई साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाता है, मेंटल हेल्थ प्रैक्टिशनर के पास जाता है, तो एवरीबडी सेइंग डिप्रेशन को ट्रीट करो, एंजाइटी को ट्रीट करो, रिलेशनशिप को ठीक करो. बट why is this happening in the first place? We have to go to the beginning. And there is 3 decades of global research that points out that what you go through in the first 18 years of your life is the foundation of everything else that happens afterwards. So coming to the evidence-based approach, the first thing that we do is assess the client's problem from that perspective, from already the research that is published globally. How do we do it? By using certain standardized assessment forms that are used globally. For example, well-being का form है जो WHO ने दिया है, 5 questions है WHO 5 के, standardized, used in 33 different countries and recommended by WHO. तो वही पता आपको बताएगा कि आपका client है, whether that person is feeling good or not feeling good. So whether it is well-being, we use the MDI scale for depression, GAD 7 questions for anxiety. So first thing is we use standardized scales to measure कि भाई, is the client really feeling what he's feeling? Then comes the evidence to back it, which says that childhood trauma has a huge role to play in mental health issues. So then how do we measure childhood trauma? Again, there are globally, there are more than 100 papers I may have gone through which have assessed childhood trauma using the ACE questionnaire, Adverse Childhood Experiences Questionnaire. So we use ACE questionnaire for our clients to find out कि इनका childhood trauma score कितना है. And once we started collecting data, today we have 3,000 assessments of well-being. Today we have, same amount of assessments, more than about 5,000 assessments of childhood trauma of the people who come to us. So what do we do with this data? Now we analyze it. We understand the pathways. We clearly saw that somebody with a high childhood trauma, their response to therapy is very different from somebody with low trauma. Their ability to even accept the therapy and the change is very different from somebody with low trauma. Similarly, we are measuring emotional resilience today. So if you have trauma, but if you have a high score on emotional resilience, then obviously you are not going to be so affected by trauma. So globally, there is so much of work being done in this area where we have tools, we have processes and methods which we can incorporate in our practices here to basically prove and understand better how we can help our clients, right? So this is the evidence-based approach. We have something simple as trauma, right? Unfortunately, in India today, even psychologists up to the master's degree level are not educated properly on what is trauma, what is simple trauma, what is complex trauma, what is PTSD and CPTSD. Assess करने की तो बात दूर की रही, उसको ठीक करने की तो और भी दूर की बात रही, right? Now, this is what at Wellness Space we are doing. Today we have almost, I would say, 1,000 plus assessments of trauma patients. We have done interventions and again measured after 5 sessions, therapy sessions. People go for therapy sessions. Are they actually working? Are people benefiting? Or are they just saying, bahut acha laga, and they continue for 5 years? No. So what we do is after every 5, 10, 15 sessions, we measure. We measure on the same standardized scales. And once we measure, we know whether is this client making progress. If the client is not making progress, why? Compare it with the trauma score, compare it with the resilience score, and we get the answers. So the best approach, I think, when we talk of evidence, we talk of research, is collect data, have a process, and once we have that, we are able to see some amazing insights into this mental health domain. And there are standardized forms at Wellness Space. We have published a lot of paper, a lot of research in this area. And our main focus is on understanding trauma, childhood trauma, because वहीं से सारी शुरुआत होती है. लोगों को आज हमारे यंग जनरेशन में सुसाइड्स का इतना कॉमन पढ़ रहे हैं हम न्यूज़पेपर में. कल ही मैं अहमदाबाद से आई लिव इन अहमदाबाद, वहाँ पे ही पेपर में 3 यंग लोगों के सुसाइड्स का है. तो सुसाइड के बारे में भी नहीं समझ रहे लोग. पीपल वांट टू से वी शुड स्टॉप सुसाइड, बट व्हाट इज ड्राइविंग यंग पीपल टू डू सुसाइड? Yeah, and parents say, okay, these are the spoiled kids who are committing suicide, or these are the kids who are not very resilient, they should be made strong. But why are they not resilient? Again, through our research only, we found out that the biggest contributors to suicide behaviors is depression, loneliness, which again comes from a childhood of emotional abuse and neglect. It is not physical abuse and sexual abuse only. It is emotional abuse and emotional neglect. How many of us understand that? So these are some of the approaches that we take at Wellness Space. We collaborate with institutes like IIT, IIM, and we are doing a lot of work in this area to understand and help people, better in this area. And research is more needed to understand कि कहाँ work करना है. अगर problem यहाँ है और मैं यहाँ work कर रही हूँ, तो solution ही नहीं आएगा. People will be in therapy for 30 years. The best way to do is to spend a lot of time in first understanding where I should work on. And then once you start the work, measure. Right?
So you talked about adverse childhood experiences, which
Yes.
is very popular internationally. But I think you are one of the pioneers who has been talking to very much about this in India.
Yes.
So what are adverse, what is it? How can one recognize whether I have been into adverse child? Because when you talk about emotional abuse, emotional neglect, this is very common in Indian households. This is very common anywhere. But because it has been normalized in such a way, how do people understand what are the symptoms of these behaviors?
So first is adverse childhood experiences in simple words is childhood trauma. Okay, and adverse childhood experiences basically more than 300,000 people sample size globally, lot of research done which says that if you have been a victim of childhood trauma, there is a high likelihood that as an adult you will have a host of mental health issues, physical health issues like autoimmune disorders, cardiovascular diseases. You might also be susceptible to addictive behaviors like porn, alcohol, etc., and relationship issues. So this is the first thing I would say. What are these childhood traumas? Well, first is what is done directly to the child. Matlab physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional neglect and physical neglect, bullying, isolating the child or bullying the child. हमारे में बहुत common है name calling, अरे idiot जैसा है, इतना stupid है, मोटा है, काला है, काली है, that kind of thing. So bullying. Another big element is household environment. If the household is a place where the child doesn't feel safe because parents are always fighting, there is domestic violence, mother or father has mental health issues, there is alcoholism, addiction in amongst the parents, or if parents have gone to jail, or there is poverty, severe poverty where the physical needs are not met. So these are, globally in the last 30 years, whatever work has been done, they have laid down some 16 areas which are considered as ACE or childhood trauma, adverse childhood experiences. And जिनके भी 4 से ज़्यादा होते हैं, उनको हाई लाइकलीहुड है कि एंजाइटी डिप्रेशन. अभी आजकल प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि अगर आपको एंजाइटी या डिप्रेशन है तो आप डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे, वो आपका डिप्रेशन एंजाइटी को स्टॉप करने के लिए या तो मेडिकेशंस देगा या दे विल डायरेक्टली वर्क ऑन एंजाइटी डिप्रेशन. बट व्हाट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इज व्हाई इज दिस हैपनिंग? बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल द प्रोग्राम्स दैट यू आर कैरिंग फ्रॉम चाइल्डहुड. Now, out of all of this, in today's times, physical abuse, sexual abuse, लोग समझते हैं कि बच्चों को ज़्यादा मारना पीटना नहीं चाहिए. Sexual abuse is... But how many understand emotional abuse? Emotional abuse and emotional neglect have the highest correlation with self-harming and suicide behaviors. Emotional abuse क्या है? बच्चे को continuously नैग करना, क्रिटिसाइज करना, उसको कंपेयर करना, उसको डराना, उसको धमकाना. चाहे मारा कभी नहीं है, पर कंटिन्यूसली डराना, धमकाना, उसको घर से फेंक देने की धमकी देना, खुद मर जाने की धमकी देना, उसको आइसोलेट करना, उसको शर्मिंदगी फील कराना, ह्यूमिलिएटिंग द चाइल्ड इन फ्रंट ऑफ पीपल. चाइल्ड फेल हुआ है और आप बोलते हो प्रिंस आया हमारा, देखो सबको रिपोर्ट कार्ड दिखाओ. मेकिंग फन, बीइंग sarcastic, humiliating, shaming the child. All of this causes toxic shame. And that scars run very deep. So the children, we assessed about 300 people, around 400 people who had attempted suicide in their lives. And you'll be surprised that all of them had a tick on emotional abuse and emotional neglect. And also all of them had very severe childhood trauma score. Right? So bullying, isolating, बच्चे को अकेला कर देना, उसके साथ बात नहीं करना, silent treatment देना, this is all emotional abuse. And these scars run deeper than physical abuse, right? Now, yes, not everybody who has gone through abuse is going to be dysfunctional. Let's also understand that. Matlab, if we have 100 people, 100 children who have been abused, doesn't mean all 100 will end up with anxiety, depression, and issues, right? Some of them are more resilient. Some of them are, inherently more stronger. Some of them have better coping structures. And some of them may have some adult who is a buffering adult. मतलब एक बंदा दादा है, नाना है, नानी है जो उनको सपोर्ट करता है, तो उनका रिस्क फैक्टर कम हो जाता है, राइट? पर जो बच्चे ऐसे माहौल में बड़े होते हैं वेयर देयर इज नो सपोर्टिंग एडल्ट थ्रू आउट द चाइल्डहुड, दे ग्रो अप फीलिंग अलोन, isolated, humiliated, ashamed, poor confidence, poor self-worth, cannot talk to parents, cannot connect to parents, severe stress about, always coming first or always doing well in studies, low self-esteem, self-doubt. These kids are most susceptible to mental health issues. How do you know you have childhood trauma? Well, if you have any of these symptoms, if you have a constant anxiety, you have a lot of fears or phobias, 10 किस्म का fear है, पानी का है, height का है, cockroach का है, चूहे का है, तो कहीं ना कहीं that means कि आपका अंदर से system imbalance है. If you have relationship issues, अगर continuously आपकी life में सबके साथ झगड़े ही हो रहे हैं, or if you have a lot of lack of confidence and self-worth, if you have self-harming tendencies, if you have suicidal thoughts, these are all the reasons why we would look into your childhood experiences. Because लैंसेट स्टडी, मतलब जो दुनिया की बहुत अच्छी जर्नल मानी जाती है, जिसमें बहुत टॉप नॉच जर्नल्स में भी ये बताया गया है कि जिनके चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा स्कोर 4 से ज़्यादा है उनके सुसाइड का रिस्क 30 गुना बढ़ जाता है, 30 times रिस्क ऑफ अटेम्प्टेड सुसाइड इफ द चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा इज हाई. विच इज़ वाई वी कम बैक टू द पेरेंट्स, educating the parents, yeah, talking about positive parenting is so important. Because ये चीज़ एक बार ख़राब हो जाती है तो उसको फिक्स करना बहुत टाइम लगता है, but prevention is better. Right? And to prevent, you have to understand. Like you rightly said, in our culture, all this is normalized. How many of us, I would think everybody over here would have a childhood trauma. At least 1 or 2 will be ticked off, right? And it is subjective. ऐसा नहीं है कि 2 थप्पड़ is not trauma and 5 थप्पड़ is trauma. It is very subjective. एक बच्चे के लिए एक इंसिडेंट भी ट्रॉमेटिक हो जाता है, एक बच्चे के लिए शायद 4-5 बार हो जाए, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. So it is very subjective. इसलिए इसकी समझ भी नहीं है इतनी. So I guess we need to spread this awareness.
As you mentioned, like there is something which is PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, and complex PTSD, which is more a complex version of it. What, according to your research and study, when do a person, because जब childhood में हो रहा होता है तो symptoms जो दिखते हैं वो बहुत बार हम लोग ignore कर लेते हैं, but till the time they become an adult and the symptoms, the dysfunctional symptoms are more visible.
Yes.
So when is the right time to approach a therapist or come to a therapy? And because mostly when people come, like हमारे पास भी जब लोग आते हैं तो say हमारा बच्चा ऐसा है, हमारा बच्चा ऐसा है, हमारा बच्चा ऐसा है, and nobody is willing to look at their nose. Like what is really happening and what am the role I am playing in that environment. So where do one start therapy? Where do one start with therapy, whether when it comes to in case of children and when it comes to raising adults?
See, I personally believe that children are a byproduct of their environment and their parenting, of the parents' parenting styles. So when parents bring young children to us, we only work on the parents. I don't think small children need any intervention unless they have severe conditions like, severe, autism or something. That's a different story. But normally when children parents come and complain about the children, we always work on the parents first, because we know that most of the time the parents' own dysfunctionality is passed on to the children, right? The first thing that you asked about PTSD, complex PTSD, थोड़ा सा technical है, but simple terms में अगर ये समझे तो अगर आपके साथ कोई एक incident हुआ है, like you witnessed an accident or you witnessed a murder or you have yourself say been locked in a lift for 10 hours, one incident and that traumatizes you for life. मतलब आप जिंदगी भर एक्सीडेंट हुआ तो आप गाड़ी नहीं चलाओगे, जिंदगी भर आप लिफ्ट में नहीं जाओगे. दैट इज कॉल्ड PTSD, पोस्ट ट्रॉमेटिक स्ट्रेस डिसऑर्डर. तो इसके बारे में आपको हमेशा आप अवॉइड करोगे लिफ्ट में जाना, या उसके बारे में आपको फ्लैशबैक्स आते हैं. तो ये PTSD है, पोस्ट ट्रॉमेटिक स्ट्रेस डिसऑर्डर, और ये एकाध ट्रॉमेटिक इवेंट से होता है. कॉम्प्लेक्स PTSD जब आपको हर रोज बार बार ट्रॉमेटिक सिचुएशन हो रही है जिससे आप भाग नहीं सकते हो. जैसे सपोज आप कॉन्सेंट्रेशन कैंप में हो, जेल में हो, हर रोज टॉर्चर हो रहा है, आप भाग भी नहीं सकते, कहीं जा भी नहीं सकते, और एवरी डे देयर इज ट्रॉमा, दैट इज कॉम्प्लेक्स पीटीएसडी. एंड चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा कम्स अंडर कॉम्प्लेक्स पीटीएसडी बिकॉज चिल्ड्रन हु आर beaten up every day, abused every day, they cannot run away, they have to live with that. And एक इंसिडेंट नहीं है, 20-25, कई बार कहते हैं कि मैम 20 साल तक हमें तो मारा गया है, पीटा गया है. दिस इज कॉम्प्लेक्स ट्रॉमा. एंड कॉम्प्लेक्स ट्रॉमा के सिम्टम्स पीटीएसडी से और भी ज्यादा है, मतलब फ्लैशबैक्स होते हैं, अवॉइडेंस तो होता है, बट इसमें एक इंसान की सेल्फ वर्थ खत्म हो जाती है. मतलब द पर्सन ग्रोज अप फीलिंग आई एम यूजलेस, आई एम वर्थलेस, आई कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग इन लाइफ, आई डोंट डिजर्व टू लिव. द पर्सन्स रिलेशनशिप आर अफेक्टेड. एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट साइन ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स ट्रॉमा इज कि फंक्शनैलिटी इफेक्ट हो जाती है. मतलब ये वो बंदे जो टाइम पे ऑफिस नहीं जा सकते, एक जॉब नहीं कर सकते ठीक से, रिलेशनशिप नहीं निभा सकते, कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं ले सकते, अपनी हेल्थ के बारे में कुछ नहीं कर सकते, तो पीपल से कि कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता है, दिस पर्सन इज यूजलेस. But that person could actually be having CPTSD because it completely affects your functionality because of the trauma. Yeah. So if you see somebody, please do not judge because you don't know what that person has gone through. अगर वो बंदा हर रोज ऑफिस लेट आ रहा है तो जानबूझ के सबको तकलीफ देने के लिए नहीं आ रहा है. That person's nervous system and physiology is so dysregulated and wired differently that the person is unable to come on time. In fact, when I'm still, it's almost completed my PhD on childhood trauma, there are so many papers which talk of childhood trauma की brain पे क्या असर होती है. तो आपके brain के जो centers है which are responsible for logical thinking, planning, coming on time, how to talk to people, those centers get affected because of trauma. So how is that person going to be functional? Right? तो ये समझ अभी बहुत कम है इंडिया में, अनफॉर्चुनेटली. बहुत शर्मजनक बात है, पर ये एक्चुअली ऐसा है. आप लोग स्टूडेंट्स हो, यू शुड एम टू स्टडी, डू रिसर्च एंड वर्क ऑन दिस. So the next question, when should you think you have a problem or come for therapy? I think at any age when you feel you have a problem that is not allowing you to be yourself, you can take help. Both my kids have gone for therapy. You might think I'm talking here, so I'm a perfect mother. No, I have made a lot of mistakes with my children, which I realized much later. The moment I realized, I told them, भैया जाओ, ये सब चीज़ मैंने की है, इसलिए वजह से ये आप में दिख रहा है, please take help. Right? So today I'm also, talking on public platform, in social media platforms. My children are talking about it because we want people to normalize these conversations. And problem ये है कि parents जानबूझ के नहीं करते हैं ऐसा कुछ. Actually, all parents are themselves victims of their own childhood, right? तो अगर पेरेंट्स ही डिसरेगुलेटेड है, पेरेंट्स खुद ट्रॉमा के विक्टिम्स है, तो वो कहाँ से अपने बच्चों के लिए बैलेंस कर पाएंगे. तो पेरेंट्स के भी इंटेंशन सब अच्छे होते हैं, पर तरीके गलत होते हैं. तो जितना जल्दी पेरेंट्स ये एक्सेप्ट करें और खुद पे काम करें और बच्चों को भी हेल्प के लिए भेजें, तो आई थिंक दैट रियली वर्क्स. बिकॉज आई हैव मेड मिस्टेक्स एज अ पेरेंट एंड आई हैव ऑल्सो सीन दैट पेरेंट्स हु grow up in certain family environments, who have grown up getting a lot of abuse, physical or verbal, sexual, they carry pattern to their children this way or that way. Yeah, and this is global research also talks about this, that parenting styles are affected by parents' own childhood experiences. तो सबसे पहले तो parents को अंदर देखना है, like you rightly said.
So what are the possible techniques, or what are the techniques that you recommend at Wellness Space where a person who comes, because what's the difference between a therapy and going to a psychologist, psychiatrist and coming to a therapy? And what are the techniques you highly recommend at Wellness Space and practice it and seen results?
See, first thing is, if you have any sort of, say, things like chronic stress, anxiety or depression or something, the first thing you start is don't jump for therapy. Not everybody needs therapy. I always say this. First start by अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि भाई योर नर्वस सिस्टम इज डिसरेगुलेटेड. द मोमेंट आपको स्ट्रेस है, मतलब आपकी फिजियोलॉजी इम्बैलेंस हो गई है, आपका फाइट एंड फ्लाइट मोड एकदम एक्टिव हो गया है, आपका आर्मी बहुत हाइपर एक्टिव है, और आपका जो मेंटेनेंस वाला काम डिपार्टमेंट है वो कम वो हो गया है. तो simple practices to balance your nervous system and physiology is the first step. If you do some simple self-regulation techniques, a lot of your imbalances and sleep issues, anxiety, negativity will go away. Some of these simple self-regulation techniques are slow breathing, humming, chanting, using guided visualizations with affirmations. These are all research-based. In सब चीज जो भी मैं बोल रही हूँ, there is research backing all of these techniques that I'm talking about. There is something called EFT, emotional freedom technique. आप simple humming करो, बहुत सिंपल लग रहा है ना, बट इतना रिसर्च है कि अगर आप सुबह 10 मिनट और शाम को 10 मिनट, दिन में 2 बार 10-10 मिनट आपने हमिंग किया, कॉन्सेंट्रेशन फोकस बढ़ेगा, आपका नर्वस सिस्टम शांत होना सीखेगा ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, आपकी नींद ठीक हो जाएगी, आपका एंगर कम होगा, right? So simple techniques, humming, how many of us can do that? Everybody can do it, right? 10 minutes of humming, आपकी BP medications कम हो जाएगी, आपका blood pressure कम हो जाएगा. So humming, chanting, deep breathing, journaling, EFT are the self-regulation techniques which you can do by yourself. No need to pay or spend on therapy. अगर ये सब करने के बावजूद भी अगर आपको लग रहा है कि नहीं, अभी भी मुझे ट्रॉमा के फ्लैशबैक्स आ रहे हैं, मुझे पेरेंट्स पे बहुत गुस्सा है, मुझे खुद पे गुस्सा आ रहा है, मैं अभी भी कुछ ठीक नहीं कर रहा हूँ, then you should go for therapy. The basic therapy, of course, is the psychological counseling, which is talk therapy. What we do is psychotherapy, मतलब we work on the memory files, neuroscience based files. तो मतलब हम आपकी memory जो है past trauma की, उसको surface पे लाके reconsolidate करते हैं. We use body and mind approaches both. Something like counseling and coaching only works on your logical mind. So if your trauma is embedded in the body, right? अगर आपको body के अंदर से triggers आ रहे हैं, अगर किसी को देखा और आपको heart rate बढ़ गया, किसी को देखा और आपको भागने का मन हुआ, तो body में अगर trauma है, तो उसके लिए you need therapies that include the body. And then of course the easiest way is to go and take psychiatric medications. Yeah, lot of people don't want to take the effort of first doing something. Yeah, now psychiatric medications are very good for extreme cases where the client is so dysfunctional कि वो खुद कुछ कर ही नहीं सकता है, ना therapy के लिए जा सकता है, and the person is completely incapable of doing things. For such people and certain cases like where there's severe psychosis and hallucinations, of course you need psychiatric medications, but not everybody needs medications. If you have exam stress, you have panic attacks, you have insomnia, you have fear, then medications should not be your first resort, because there are many other things you can do before you go to medicines, because medications के अपने side effect होते हैं, उसका भी एक आदत पड़ जाती है और फिर उसके साथ दूसरे complications आ जाते हैं. So you can try out techniques like guided visualization, clinical hypnotherapy, inner child work. Inner child work is all about connecting to your childhood memories, yeah, re-experiencing them and releasing the emotional charge from the body. Memory रहेगी, but उसका जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, पटाखा होगा but गन पाउडर नहीं होगा. गन पाउडर निकाल दिया तो पटाखे का कोई इफेक्ट नहीं है. तो मेमोरीज, हमारे हर एक अनुभव की मेमोरी इज लाइक अ पटाखा, राइट? देयर इज गन पाउडर एंड देयर इज एन एबिलिटी टू ब्लास्ट. जितनी बार किसी ने कुछ कहा, कुछ बोला, मैंने कुछ देखा, तो बूम बूम होता है. व्हाट सम ऑफ दीज टेक्निक्स डू इज गन पाउडर निकाल देता है. हम आपकी मेमोरी तो डिलीट नहीं कर सकते, बट थिंग्स लाइक हिप्नोथेरेपी, इनर चाइल्ड वर्क, इट वर्क्स ऑन योर चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा बाय जस्ट separating out the emotional charge from the memory. So the memory doesn't affect you anymore. So people tell us, मैम अभी तो मैं कुत्ते का फोबिया है, जिंदगी भर कुत्ते को देख के भागना है. कितने लोगों को कुत्ते का डर है? अभी हम एक टेक्निक करते हैं, मैम अभी मैं कुत्ते को देख सकती हूँ, कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है, कुत्ता मेरे बाजू में बैठा है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मेरा हार्ट रेट भी उतना ही है. So what has happened? The gunpowder has gone.
So you become less reactive is what you're saying?
You get less triggered. You get less triggered. And so that memory affects you less. And because it affects you less, now you can actually operate from the space you want to operate. See, most people who come to us now, they are not crazy people. They are very successful. We have lawyers, doctors, very successful people. Why they need our help is when they are triggered, सारा logic खिड़की के बाहर चला जाता है. Like कोई बंदा बोलता है कि मेरी बीवी ना ऐसा एक्सप्रेशन करके मुझे बोलती है ना, तो बस फिर मेरा तो क्या दिमाग जाता है. मैम मैं 2000 लोगों की कंपनी चलाता हूँ, पर वो एक ऐसा उसका एक्सप्रेशन देख के ना मेरा कंट्रोल चला जाता है. मतलब व्हाट? इट इज एन अनकॉन्शियस ट्रिगर. क्यों? क्योंकि मेरी माँ भी ऐसा करके मुझे पीटती थी हर रोज. अभी मेरी बीवी का वैसा एक्सप्रेशन देख के मुझे गुस्सा. सो व्हाट डू वी डू? वो जो माँ के जो वो एक्सप्रेशन वाली मेमोरीज हैं, उसको हम न्यूट्रलाइज कर देते हैं. अभी बीवी वैसा एक्सप्रेशन करती है तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. सो नाउ आई कैन एक्चुअली रिस्पॉन्ड इन अ balanced or a neutral way. So this is how some of these very new cutting edge, ये recent जो है therapy modalities हैं, जो हम कहते हैं RTM, reconsolidation of trauma memory. अभी recently, if you are interested, you should read up European Journal of Trauma and Disassociation. You search my name. We have published a recent paper where we did study, patients with complex trauma. We did RTM, and after 4 sessions we measured, and again after 3 months we measured, and their complex trauma was down to 0. राइट उसके बारे में हमने यूरोपियन जर्नल में पब्लिश भी किया है. तो ऐसा बहुत सारा रिसर्च, अगर आप मेरा नाम सर्च करोगे तो बहुत सारा रिसर्च चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा में भी हमने पब्लिश किया है, सिर्फ समझने के लिए और फिर उसको एड्रेस करने के लिए. तो दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स.
I also want to ask you about, because we're living in an era where is बहुत information coming from everywhere, overload of information, and a layman, I think everybody here knows what terms to सुने होंगे. It can be trauma, ADHD, insomnia, and all of that. And I see young generation and many of us using it so casually. मैं depression में हूँ, मैं ये हूँ, मैं वो हूँ. And it is such a they use it so casually and do not understand the seriousness of what is really happening. So the authenticity of getting checked. What are the resources that you suggest, that where can people go and check whether how intense is their case, number one, and what are the trusted sources of how to go about it?
See, a lot of young kids today are all on social media, so they have access to every possible information, right? So a lot of them self-diagnose. Matlab, like I said, if they follow Justin Bieber and Justin Bieber said, I had, some mental health issue, then they will Google it up and then they'll say, abhi mujhe bhi ye ho raha hai. So this has been very common. A lot of people, see, with every information, it's a double-edged sword. How you use it, right? Any information can be used and misused. When I started creating content on childhood trauma, a lot of parents wrote to me and said, मैम मेरे बच्चे आपकी रील देख रहे हैं और फिर हमें अभी इमोशनली ब्लैकमेल कर रहे हैं, गिल्ट ट्रिप करा रहे हैं कि अभी आपकी वजह से सारे हमारे लाइफ के प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो गए. So again, the objective is to educate parents, but children are listening and then now they are holding a gunpoint to their parents. So every information can be used and misused, first thing. But if you are somebody who wants to understand if you have mental health issues, then please go to a proper certified clinical psychologist who can assess you. Right? And not assess you by just looking at you and passing their judgment. There are, like I said, globally accepted forms and scales. Thoda sa educated raho iske bare mein. Today, every other person who attends a workshop has become a therapist, has become a healer. Okay, I would say go to people who are certified. Check out if they have any research to their name. Check out if they even have a proper qualification. That is the first step. India में तो हर कोई कुछ भी कह सकता है आजकल, right? So go to qualified, certified people who can talk to you, understand your issue, and tell you whether do you have a problem or not. Don't self-diagnose. And if you want to also at least do the basic diagnosis, take globally accepted self-assessment forms. There are self-assessment forms for anxiety, depression, insomnia, and well-being. Like I said, WHO, World Health Organization की website पे हैं. तो ये सारे resources हैं. You should use that wisely and understand. But go to professional therapist. Do not go to quacks and people who claim that they can fix your problem in one day. I myself have seen people who say, आपका anxiety एक दिन में निकाल दूंगा, आपका sleep issue तो एक session में खत्म हो जाएगा. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता है. उनको बोलो भैया आप 50 लोगों का करके मुझे data दिखाओ, then I understand, right? But people fall for such things. So I'm saying be a little bit aware. And whatever you do, whatever you go for, make sure that there is some authenticity to it. Yes, it can work as a placebo. If you have a lot of Vishwas in a Babaji and that Babaji gives you some Bhabhuti and says, isse theek ho jayega, your body will fix itself. That is also there. So if you have immense faith in something, that can also fix you. Yeah, but that applies to a very small number of people.
So in your journey, because even when we were learning, I remember that you said even more than physical abuse, emotional neglect has the biggest effect, and your research has, and the papers have said so much about it. What has been the most astounding revelation in the last few years of your, many years of your research and work on this? How do you get awed by your own research?
No, I don't get awed by my research, but I get flummoxed by the lack of research coming from India, sadly, in this area of mental health. And I'm very, very shocked that psychology education today in India is unfortunately just not equipped to handle the kind of complex problems that people come with. Because even we have students who have done masters in psychology, and if I put a person with anxiety in front of them, they don't know what to do. They can do detailed assessments. They can tell you like 50,000 things that they can assess you about. You have this disorder, that disorder. They can give you a lot of labels, but they are not taught to fix it. So India mein there is lots of work to be done. It is overwhelming. I sometimes feel kitna karenge, itna sab karna hai, right? But my biggest, I think, surprise and shock was, like I said, when we were studying with IIT Mandi, we were actually doing a machine learning algorithm and finding out how can we actually decide the risk factor for suicide. Like जैसे आपका कोई weight certain है, BMI certain है, तो आपको risk factor for obesity, risk factor for diabetes, risk factor for heart issues ऐसा बोलते हैं डॉक्टर, right? कि if you have this health conditions, you have a risk factor for this. How do we assess risk factor for suicide behaviors? Because so many people are doing suicide. Can we really understand beforehand the red signals and prevent it? And like I said, to our biggest shock and surprise, it was not only physical abuse and sexual abuse, but emotional neglect, emotional abuse, bullying and domestic violence, which were the biggest contributors of or correlated to suicide behaviors. And emotional abuse and emotional neglect हमारे समाज में जैसे मैंने कहा कोई समझता ही नहीं है. मतलब emotional neglect is when a child feels nobody cares about me, like invisible in a family. Child's emotional needs are not met. बच्चा रो रहा है, रोने दो, हंस रहा है, हंसने दो, कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. We have so many families where children's physical needs are met. बच्चे को top notch खाना देते हैं, organic food देते हैं, अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ाते हैं, but emotional level पे कोई बच्चे का connection नहीं है parents के साथ, family के साथ. तो these are the kids who grow up with depression, loneliness, isolation, and eventually self-harming and suicide behaviors. So emotional abuse, emotional neglect, and they don't go in isolation. Most of the kids who have been physically abused also feel emotionally neglected and emotionally abused. So ये पूरा जो है हमें समझना बहुत ही ज़रूरी है, because mental health in India amongst young people today is really declining. And parents ऐसा ही कहते हैं कि बच्चे बहुत पैम्पर्ड है, सॉफ्ट जनरेशन है. हाउ मेनी कमेंट्स आई गेट ऑन इंस्टाग्राम दैट दिस जनरेशन इज अ सॉफ्ट जनरेशन. हम लोग तो बड़े हुए इतना मार खा के, इतना पिटे, फिर भी हम तो इतने सक्सेसफुल है, और ये बच्चे छोटी सी चीज़ में गिर जाते हैं, ये नहीं संभल पाते. बट ये बच्चे आप ही के बच्चे हैं, और आप ही ने कुछ किया है फॉर दिस जनरेशन टू बी दिस वे, राइट, अल्टीमेटली. So we can't blame the kids. That's the first thing. Secondly, I would also say that you cannot make children emotionally resilient and strong by beating them and abusing them. ये एक बहुत गलत हमारे समाज में समझ है कि बच्चों को जितना मारो पीटो स्ट्रांग बनेंगे. हमारा मार नहीं खाया तो दुनिया का मार कैसे खाएंगे? That is completely wrong logic. In fact, आपका मार खा के बच्चे इतने टूट पड़ते हैं कि बाहर फिर वो खड़े ही नहीं हो पाते. Very few kids survive. So and at the same time then parents pamper the children. मतलब इतने सॉफ्ट बना देते हैं कि बेटे को फेल नहीं होने देते, बेटे को गिरने नहीं देते, बेटे को ना नहीं कहते हैं. तो that is also wrong, because then kids are not emotionally resilient. They cannot survive failures. पहली बार गर्लफ्रेंड ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया तो बंदा मरने जाता है. So both extremes are not good. We have to focus on children who learn problem solving, who are given problems, who make mistakes, who fall, who can understand emotions, understand how to deal with emotions if their parents are dealing with emotions themselves, right? And not pamper them and not even abuse them. So the answer is in balanced parenting, what I would say.
So when you talk about emotional neglect, I would also like to understand, as per your understanding, does a gender play a role when it comes to therapy? And because when you're talking about emotional neglect, I've seen a lot of women acknowledging, at least they experience it, but as a male gender, do you see men acknowledging emotional neglect?
No, I see so many men here. How many of you boys over here actually talk about your emotions in your boys gathering? Please raise your hand. Nobody. Yeah. So and these boys are also raised by women, right? So कहीं तो कहीं cultural conditioning है. हमारे clinical practice में भी 70% are women, only 30% are men. Men don't come, and the men who come are pushed by their wives or pushed by their mothers for some strange reason to come, कि भाई अभी तो मैं शादी छोड़ के चली जाऊंगी अगर तुमने therapy नहीं ली तो. So I think men and patriarchal culture, whatever you call it, prevents men from even acknowledging that there is a problem. So we have a generation of men who can be very successful, CEOs of big companies, super accomplished. People give examples of Elon Musk and everybody that in spite of trauma, they are so successful. But successful doesn't mean that man is a good husband, a good friend, or a good father, right? So I think amongst men also, we have to, as mothers, like I have a son, so I have conversations about his mental health. I talk to him and how are you feeling? If he has done something wrong, I ask him, how do you feel about it? Where do you feel it? Yeah. What would you want to say about it? What does the other person feel? Emotional vocabulary नहीं है. Emotions के बारे में भाषा नहीं है. Emotions के बारे में चर्चा नहीं है. तो ये एक शुरू करना है. And I think घर से करना है. Honestly, we have to start talking about this from our homes so that more and more men, because addictions ज़्यादा men में है, right? I'm seeing men have more, of these issues, but women come for help more, which is so problematic. So I think as mothers or wives, we have to encourage our sons and husbands to talk about it, take help, and it is not unmanly to talk about your emotions. That's all.
I can go on and on, but I've got an instruction to take audience's questions. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know.
2 questions from the audience, please. Any 2 questions, considering the time we have for it. Yes,
Hi, ma'am. It's really a wonderful conversation. Myself coming from the space of parenting and relationship, just wanted to understand one thing when you mentioned that emotional understanding and emotional abuse and emotional neglect, it has to be understood by the parents as well.
Yes.
So what is the line or the limit where parents have to address their kids when they're not doing well or when they are not going into the right side as per their understanding? So it's a catch-22 situation. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah. So I would like to first say that I have more than 2,000 videos on Instagram, and I have a channel on parenting where I have described and prescribed what you can do for different situations for positive parenting. But to answer your question, when child does something wrong, how the parent reacts determines whether the child is going to go through toxic shame or the child is going to learn healthy shame. Like, for example, you cannot use galis, you should not steal. These are the things you teach to children, right? Which is healthy shame. But if the child, we know that children will make mistakes and they will keep doing stuff which is not okay. But at that time, the way you talk to the child and not say that you are the problem, like, तुम ही idiot हो यार, तुम कितनी बार समझाना पड़ रहा है, समझ नहीं आता क्या, अक्ल नहीं है क्या, versus saying के एक और बार गिर गया, चलो कोई बात नहीं, लेट्स सी हाउ वी कैन फिक्स इट. और ये बार बार क्यों हो रहा है, तुम्हारी क्या समझ है इसके बारे में, या डू यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इट डज टू अदर पीपल. तो नॉट मेकिंग इट अबाउट द चाइल्ड्स कैरेक्टर एंड दैट यू आर फ्लॉड, बट स्टिल correcting the child consistently with respect, with love and compassion is what will help us to discipline them without toxic fear and shame. Simple चीज़ है, बच्चों को खाना खिलाना है. कितने पेरेंट्स उनको फियर डालते हैं, भूत आ जाएगा, चुड़ैल आ जाएगी, तुम्हारे पेट में कीड़े निकलेंगे, मकोड़े निकलेंगे, तुम भूखे मर जाओगे, अगले जन्म में कुत्ते बनोगे, राइट? एंड यू डोंट नो, इट्स फनी राइट नाउ, बट सम ऑफ दीज फियर्स स्टे, वर्सेस जस्ट सेइंग कि ठीक है मत खाओ यार, जब भूख लगे खा लेना, खाना पड़ा है, और सेइंग के खाना क्यों खाना है. सही, कई बार बच्चे लॉजिक नहीं समझते. सो हाउ द पेरेंट डील्स विद दीज सिंपल डिसिप्लिनिंग experiences is what will determine whether the child will have healthy fear or toxic fear, healthy shame or toxic shame. Right? Parents' behaviors are a big indicator of that.
Hello ma'am, it was a very insightful session. I am Prerna Kotecha and मैं खुद एक काउंसलर हूँ. तो मैंने कपल ऑफ क्लाइंट्स में देखा है, बहुत ज़्यादा लोग आजकल ओवर थिंकिंग करते हैं, राइट? एंड कोई प्रॉब्लम होती भी नहीं एक्चुअली, बट दिमाग में वो सिनेरियो क्रिएट कर लेते हैं और फिर डिप्रेशन में चले जाते हैं, फिर एनजाइटीज आती है. तो ऐसी बातों को हम कैसे रोक सकते हैं एंड कैसे अवेयरनेस क्रिएट कर सकते हैं?
See, I'll tell you something. Again, coming back to the root cause, why the person is overthinking so much? Why the person is so caught up in the negative thinking, right? That you will understand if you go back to the roots, get a detailed history, because not everybody does this, right? So why this person has overthinking? Yes, we have a lot of overload of information, I understand. But why this person is always thinking negatively? It could be coming from an environment where the child has grown up in stress or constant fear. So if you understand the why, you can address it better. There is always, you need to ask why. And I should avoid judging. हमें लग रहा है ये क्या, ये तो कोई प्रॉब्लम है क्या? प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, पर उसके दिमाग में it is the biggest problem. So if you start by saying कि ये प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, that person will see कि ये तो समझते ही नहीं है मेरे को, मम्मी पापा भी नहीं समझते, ये भी नहीं समझता है, खत्म, the person is going to feel nobody understands me. So it is always better to have a non-judgmental approach and try to see from that person's lens कि इसके क्या lens है. अगर उस बंदे ने बचपन में माँ बाप ने यही सुना, ये होगा तो ये होगा, लेट होंगे तो फ्लाइट चली जाएगी, फ्लाइट में बैठे को क्रैश हो जाएगा. इफ द चाइल्ड हैज ग्रोन अप विद दैट लेंस, एज एन अडल्ट ही विल सी द होल वर्ल्ड विद दैट लेंस ओनली. सो गो बैक टू द बेसिक्स. दैट इज माय.
Yes, one last question.
I feel कि मैंने अपने बच्चों को बहुत अच्छे से रेज किया है, but best. So, till what age can this say damage be fixed?
At any age they can be, absolutely. So even adults who are 30s and 40s sometimes come to us for therapy for things that happened to them when they were 5 and 10 and 15. So at any age. But I would also like to say there's nothing like perfect parenting and perfect kids. So I would always tell parents, stop trying to always get it better and better and better and better, because that is a pressure on you as a parent, and that is a pressure on your children also. I believe once your children are adults, just educate them and let them take charge of their mental health themselves. They need to go take help. Not you as a parent trying to fix them even after they are 20 and 25 and 30 and 35, because then again you are causing further problems. Yes, exactly. So, and there's nothing called perfect parenting. There's nothing called perfect kids. You'll always make mistakes someday or the other, and it's fine. I think by and large, they would be resilient. But you will see the signs early on if it's really bad damage you've done, and that is when you should take help. If they are adults, taking help should be their responsibility, not yours. That's what I would say. That's how you teach them to be adults, right?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining this session.
I think
It's indeed a
one
wonderful
man
session.
has a question. I would really like to take question from
okay.
Please. I'm sorry, because
Yes.
no men are talking. I'm surprised even questions are asked by women. Yes, sir. No. Oh, well, okay. You also have a question?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay. सी पैंडेमिक की वजह से बहुत से बच्चों में सोशल एंजाइटी आ गई है, सोशल स्किल्स नहीं डेवलप हो पाई हैं, तो यू हैव टू बी पेशेंट. ये बच्चों के हाथ में नहीं था, बच्चों की गलती नहीं थी, पेरेंट्स की गलती नहीं थी, तो ये बच्चों को समय लगेगा इंटीग्रेट होने में नॉर्मल लोगों के साथ. सो एज पेरेंट्स द ओनली थिंग इज यू हैव टू बी पेशेंट, गिव देम टाइम एंड लेट देम वर्क थ्रू इट, बिकॉज वी हैव सीन अ जनरेशन ऑफ किड्स ब्रॉट अप इन द पैंडेमिक हु हैव नो सोशल स्किल्स, वेरी पुअर, दे हैव सोशल एंजाइटी, नए लोगों के साथ मिल नहीं पाते हैं, खेल नहीं पाते हैं, फिजिकल एक्टिविटी कम हो गई है. तो पेरेंट्स हैव टू बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड जस्ट बी पेशेंट, दैट्स ऑल.
कितना समय लगेगा उसको कोप अप करने में और उससे बाहर आने में, आपको क्या लगता है?
इतना इजी सोल्यूशन होता तो मैं 2 मिनट में नहीं दे पाती सर, बट मैंने जो 2 मिनट में कह सकूँ वो कहूँ कि पेरेंट्स हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ कोरोना and it is a special situation, so they have to be patient, give time to the child, let the child integrate and take those 2 years extra to catch up.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन.
No, one more. No, sorry. Now I'll have to ask this gentleman.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन, एक्सक्यूज मी.
No, 1 minute. But he stood up. Please. I'm sorry. Yes. Closed. Yes. Lot of Indian families have the wall, and it becomes very strong when the children become teenagers because they want their own space, right? And if in childhood you have not built connection, it takes time. But the best way to start is not by asking about them, by talking about you. The best way to break the wall if you want to have conversations with your children is talk about yourself. Talk about your emotions. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Be honest with your children. मैंने ये गलती की थी, मैंने ये feel किया, आज मेरे साथ ही हुआ. I'm assuming they are adults. हाँ. So talk about your issues, your problems, share your emotions, and then they will open up and trust you. If you have not done that so far, then they will take time to trust you with their emotions. To build trust, but if you ask them, अच्छा तुम्हें कैसा लग रहा है, तुम्हारी feelings के बारे में बताओ, they will shut down. So you have to start from your side. Yeah? Okay. I think
Thank you once again, ma'am. I'm sure the audience would be taking back a great spark of thoughts and ideas from whatever the discussion that happened. But let me also tell you that there is one more session that is upcoming session that's scheduled on the topic, the silent struggle. And ma'am will also be there for the session at 1 p.m. in Banyan Hall. So if you could join there. And thank you for joining us. And we will meet you soon in the upcoming sessions in OCLF. Happy Wisdom.